Here's everything you need to know about the state of Hytale in 2024, from why the upcoming game isn't out yet and all the drama surrounding that, to the most recent updates and new features that have been revealed this year. Now, most footage of Hytale you will have seen is at least 3 to 4 years old at this point. Time flies, right? The last actual gameplay the team showcased was over 2 years old in July of 2022. This isn't a bad thing, however. They chose to do this because the team wanted to stop showing footage of their old engine, as they've been building an entirely new engine from the ground up for the last few years. This is the main reason we stopped getting any gameplay footage and even screenshots after a certain point from the official Hytale account. They don't want to show us something unfinished or worse, outdated, and the reason for that should be obvious. If they're building a new engine, it's going to take some time to get it to look good. It's not going to have perfect lighting and highly accurate mob AI and sound effects, or even a finalized UI right away. And imagine how angry people would be if they showed something like that. Gameplay which looks worse than footage that is 4 years old, or even the trailer from 2018. Hypixel Studios have said they've been bringing everything back to the same level, or even better in a lot of cases, before they showcase any gameplay again, and that's a commitment they have stuck to since 2022. I mean, even this week, Hytale kinda went a bit viral on Twitter when a fan account shared old footage of the game from 2020, which people mistook for new footage, igniting a storm of replies and quote retweets, claiming how upset people are that the game hasn't progressed, not even realizing how old the video they were looking at really was. A number of tweets were pretty toxic towards the game, but it was more of an uninformed toxicity, because a lot of people had no idea and seemed to think it was brand new footage, and that the fan account was an official team account. Of course, it was later clarified by a community note. However, it didn't take long to spread around. I mean, over 50,000 likes on this quote retweet alone. See, still to this day, Hytale is generating conversation and debate, even with completely outdated footage. It only takes one account to remind everyone and spark a whole wave of dialogue again. And remember, this wasn't even official. It was outdated, so times all of this by 10 when the team are finally ready to drop those big updates. Whilst the official Hytale account posts are far and few between, the team has still been communicating, at least they're trying to. This year, individual team members have been posting a lot more interesting updates and reveals on their own accounts, which I really want to recap. But not before I tell you about a generous offer I have from the sponsor of today's video, Pocket Champs. Available for free on Android and iOS, Pocket Champs is a game where you train up your little champ character to go against other colourful champs in a variety of different races. You have to select the right training for the right race and try to strategize in order to find the best gadgets for the job. Get prepared for races by upgrading their stats, learning the key to each course, and then watch your champ run, swim, fly, and climb to win that gold medal. Right now, a new world event is currently ongoing called the Community Rush, where you can work together with other players to unlock shared rewards for everyone, trying to get the ultimate travel distance goal before 7 days is up. All you need to do is race in order to help contribute to that community total, and I've been told that all participants will be entered into a surprise gift giveaway. Also, I partnered with Pocket Champs to specifically offer you guys a starter pack worth $15, which includes 500 gems plus an awesome ice cream skin. Scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description to download the game, and the rewards will automatically be added to your profile on August 1st. The first 50 people to download the game using the link will be added to my friends list just by clicking the link again, and the top 3 of my friends with the highest trophies will receive an additional gem reward. Now let's get back to the Hytale team. They have been actively answering new questions and providing explainers about their systems on a smaller scale throughout 2024. However, there's over 10 different posts now, and all of that information has really built up. They're just not well known because they're on the community manager's Twitter account rather than on Hytale's official website or channels. These include much more recent confirmation about player systems, companions and pets, the game's accessibility, as well as their plans for this new engine and the future of Hytale. Here's a summary of the big points. The game will be very accessible, with dialogue, captions and subtitle support confirmed, plus the UI will communicate important game information by triggering multiple sensory methods. Basically, there will likely be many toggleable accessibility features that make the game less challenging to play for those who wish, like more ways to see incoming attacks visually, or being able to change the scale of the UI for the visually impaired. I also imagine this will work in the opposite direction too, although we've not heard anything about hardcore or upping the difficulty of adventure mode just yet. There will not be tutorials for many things in the game. You will, however, be introduced to the universe of Hytale, along with some basic systems like movement and block manipulation, but don't expect any tedious, overextended tutorials for every little thing. Essentially, just enough to give you the context of who you as a player are in this universe. Hopefully, that makes those first hours of discovering and learning the game that much more fun on our initial playthroughs, being able to have that sense of wonder and discovery without it all being taught to you straight away. Speaking of the player you are in this universe, you are able to choose a huge array of items to customize your player character called an avatar. The team stated that you may want to swap out different outfits and skins, suggesting you could be able to have multiple avatar designs and swap between saved outfits very quickly. It's confirmed that combat will have a wide variety of options and playstyles based on what weapons and equipment you use, as well as the types of choices and abilities you combine them with. Essentially, each has its positives and drawbacks, but we'll find a number of valid ways to approach combat, both in PvP and PvE, that is assured. Despite the fantasy setting of adventure mode, when it comes to progression, you won't spawn with magic per se at first, instead having to actually go out and find it, acquire it somehow, either through magical artifacts, spell books, or other such items. And whilst you're picking up the combat and learning magic, it's also confirmed that the player can create multiple different types of crafting stations, each with specific purposes as players progress further and further into the game. Sometimes you'll be able to craft more compact stations, and others they may even have a prerequisite, like having to build a certain structure around it first. We had both pets and companions more solidly confirmed, specifically around their customizable aspect, giving them different things to wear, like a hat for instance. There's confirmed variety in pet behaviors too, from being able to play fetch all the way to playing dead when an enemy is nearby. Further pet behaviors were even confirmed when the game director revealed a flurry of possibilities with the game's modding tools, such as modding your character model to change it, in this example into a pufferfish. You can manipulate player stats like swim speed, breath underwater, and even make your model change size. Imagine like an expanding pufferfish. You can create new weapons with unique custom abilities, create new vehicles like a hoverboard that was used as an example, which can also be confirmed to hold other players and mobs in it, plus the ability to add buffs to pets that can aid you in combat and exploring. So clearly a lot of variety in both the vanilla Hytale stuff and the world of modding, which I'm sure many players will no doubt start to dive into from launch. The team also confirmed that as Hytale is also a custom engine, they do plan on releasing future content after launch, as we have long suspected. Examples being new worlds, adventures, game modes, and minigames. There was even some hint at an ongoing narrative within adventure mode that may continue to get updated over time. And we can obviously expect other surprises through things like the Hytale online multiplayer hub, which is called the Capital. Really, some of the first ever information about the new engine was also revealed when a post by the team confirmed the backbone of this engine was using a thing called Flex, which has allowed them to build, quote, highly varied gameplay while supporting their vision of empowering creators. It really does seem like the team plans to work closely with the community, artists, and creatives that play this game to really foster a new ecosystem with all of this ability to customize and create experiences as well as modding with the game. In looking back at those 11 Hytale answers we got this year, there is a lot that feels like it's building to a bigger picture. Whilst some things have been confirmed, I think a lot of the answers are still very vague, and I do think it's a shame that for anyone who is already pretty well read up on Hytale, that there isn't that much that we didn't already know, or at least think that we knew. But more recent confirmation on things still being in the game is better than nothing, so we can't complain. We also got a somewhat miniature blog post update from the game director in May, who confirmed progress with the new engine was still on track and that they would have more to share soon, also mentioning some big upgrades that a lot of the factions had, but that the goal of that is for us to see them when we're in game. So we may only see a couple of these newly upgraded factions, just enough to tease us. We have seen a slight sneak peek at some newer Quebecs, so we may even get a look at them in this new engine footage that is on the horizon. And another contender has got to be the Skyrex, as if you weren't aware, I was actually invited to host a presentation for Hypixel Studios this summer where the team surprised me with new gameplay footage, lore, and an exclusive sneak peek at the upgraded Skywars, which we broke down in a lot of detail. So yeah, we're probably going to see a lot more of that faction as well when the blog posts start to drop again. I also got to see 4 minutes of combat playtest gameplay with stuff like throwing daggers, fireball, PvP and AoE spells, different traps, and a number of abilities. It has, however, been confirmed that there are currently no plans to show this specific combat footage that I saw, probably because it was a playtest for internal use, had a few placeholder assets, and it was in the legacy engine. Again, the team do not want to show that anymore. I can imagine they'll have a far bigger and better video prepared when they're ready to show us the new engine combat once again. We did also get a blog post this summer, although it wasn't the one we were all initially expecting. Usually we get summer or winter development updates that are pretty substantial, and this one that we got was specifically categorized by the team as a technical explainer blog post, which is completely separate to the regular development updates and went into a lot of complex jargon about engines, entity component systems, and other things. So the regular development update should still be scheduled as normal. The last few years, July has been the hotspot for those releases, so fingers crossed that I might be covering that in the next video. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, the team are very well aware that the hype from the trailer 5 years ago is no more, and they are conscious that people may feel let down by their previous delay and the extended development. They've worked hard to manage expectations though these past years because of this, and they're not stupid because they are intending to reignite that hype at the right time, when the new engine is ready and everything we've seen so far is moved from the old engine. As we've seen here, they've been building up to something. And that's looking to be sooner rather than later. No doubt it may be hard to believe that news is coming after all these years, but evidence really is starting to suggest that that new engine reveal is just around the corner. We know the game director will be writing the blog post and it will include new gameplay. We've covered why that's the case in a number of recent videos on the channel, so make sure to check them out here. Thank you to Pocket Champs for sponsoring the video. Remember, you can download the game through the QR code or link below. Make sure to subscribe to be notified about Hytale news. Stay safe and keep free.